Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I was waiting for that. You are not allowed to do this until we get a new channel.
Oh yeah, there's bludgeonings galore. He's picking out a helmet for the new channel.
We're drinking Tomatin today by request from Ken Luttrell.
Yeah. Ken, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on, Ken. All right, let's do it. Okay, request. You know what's funny? There were a couple of people who requested a trio of whiskeys. And I don't think they know each other, but they requested the identical trio.
Okay.
Of totally random whiskeys. But one of them was Tomatin.
You know why I've never really been excited to try this?
Why?
I don't like the name.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all it took?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomatin. Yeah. Doesn't do it for me. There's no jangle.
Well, this is the 15, because it's the only one I have in the vault right now.
It's one too many.
And I don't have any of the other Tomatins to compare it to.
One too
This
many.
was Ken Luttrell. And they did one of Jura, but we're going to do that in another video.
Ooh.
So we're going to do a whole series of Jura.
No, that name has
like
jangle.
2 days from now.
That-
Actually, 4 days, because it's going to be a Monday episode.
Jangle something.
Okay.
Does Jeremy watch these? Griggs?
I don't feel like he does.
I don't think he does.
He doesn't care about
He
us.
would be the only person that got my jangle reference.
Yes, he definitely would. Okay.
I think, no, Jeremy's much too highbrow for this.
So here's the thing about Tomatin is established in 1897.
Right?
But here's where you might not like this whiskey.
Yeah, I think it smells light and fresh with citrus fruits and vanilla.
There's a lot of tasting notes on this bottle. It's the first time I've ever seen one with that extensive. You know why, I think? Because they're trying really hard to make it interesting. It was a really bad thing to say about Tomatin, but...
See, I can shit on it. You have to be careful what you say.
No.
Fruitcake,
It's okay.
oak, prominent.
I get in the nose, I get pears, apple,
So they say good balance.
I get heather.
Nah, I'm not gonna say that. It's a joke. It would be like it would be a dad joke. I'm already one dad joke in for this year.
Yeah, you are.
That's my. I get one a year.
On the taste, kind of creamy.
Sweet vanilla, a little bit of cream. Serviceable.
A little bit of cherry.
Yeah, it's fine. I like
Ish.
it. It's on the friendlier side of things.
Okay, so here's
Definitely.
the thing. It kind of got bought out by a Japanese company in the 80s. And actually most of its modern life, it's been only used or specifically used to make blends.
Okay.
Right? And so what happens when a distillery gets used almost entirely to make blends is that inevitably the flavor profile of the whiskey that they make gets focused on how will this blend instead of how does this taste.
So instead of making a standalone whiskey, it's like, hey, we need some notes that we're looking for to blend in with other
Yeah,
things.
and this becomes a dominant part of another blend, and with that, you don't want a really complicated whiskey because then you're going to try to figure out how to blend the balance out.
Right.
You want something that's smooth and predictable, and you know how it's going to contribute to the blend.
Okay.
Right, and
here's what my elaborate scheme was. To crap on the name and then have this moment where I tasted it and it completely changed my mind. I take it all back.
Tomatin.
I repent. But no, it's a 1.5 note whiskey, sweet, friendly.
And I'm
getting vanilla. I'm getting a slight bit of cream. I don't often get cream, so that's kind of.
I've had some people
special.
say it's a Tomatin. Depends on, actually both of them were Scottish.
Tomato, tomato.
Two of Scottish friends both argued about how to pronounce this one. I forgot, I'm sure if you look up the distillery, the guy who runs the distillery, he'll have a way to say it, and I'm just going to say that's probably the right way.
This
if you're the master distiller of Tomatin, how you pronounce it is probably correct.
Here's the thing. This could actually be a good beginner whiskey.
Yeah, it would go well. You know what this reminds me of? So we just had sushi for lunch.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that sake we were drinking. Yeah. Really light and apple and
no, it was blood
fruity.
orange. It had blood
orange and watermelon.
Yeah, it was
and,
good. 2 bottles of sake.
But this, okay, so
2 bottles of sake before we start shooting.
before we started this, yeah. Whee! So no, the funny thing is, what they say that kind of sake goes well with is meats, right? Like grilled meats or steak. I could totally see this pairing really well with heavy fat content proteins, or even a fatty fish. Grilled fish, or
I could see that. I would be curious to mix
go
it.
with a steak.
Should we try and blend it with something? See if we can make it.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, they use it as a blend.
Yeah.
Why don't we use it as a
We have
blend?
permission.
Okay, so we need 2 more things in here.
What's the destination? Where are we trying to
Well, in my opinion, every good blend has a little bit of Ila.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
so we're going to have to
We're taking it away from the beginner-friendly zone.
No, but just a dash. I mean, like we would say that these are, like, Valentine's is friendly and it has a dash of smoke in it.
Well, what if we started with the gateway? We said this was a gateway.
Black bottle.
Right.
So that's our angle.
So
our blend is going to be a Caol Ila. Or it could be a Finlagen, which I think the original Finlagen is using the Caol Ila Distillery.
Okay.
Or it could be...
All right, you go figure that out. I'm going to read Rafael Ortega. Hey, guys, can you talk a little bit about the addition... You're going to need to be here for this, actually. The addition of Caramel E150 addition to whiskeys. What's your take on this matter? Cheers. What is this?
Okay, so...
Caramel E150.
Did you know that it is... in America, it is illegal to add fake coloring to your whiskeys.
Okay.
They're the color they are.
So this is a coloring
In
thing.
Scotland, it is legal to add coloring to your whiskey to make it darker.
Mm.
It's totally legal.
Mm.
And there's a lot of arguments about whether that's bullshit and which distilleries do it and which don't.
Honestly, color isn't one of those things that I'm pretty indifferent one way or another. I'll make note of it. If it's like, oh, there's some red in this,
but
or
you
it's
can
really
see
dark,
why, right? Because a darker whiskey
it makes it look like it's been aged longer.
Yeah,
there's more.
I mean, when you get a new distillery and you get a whiskey and it looks like this, and you're like, wow, that's really young, and this is 15 years old.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I kind of understand why that's a big deal in
marketing.
Why it's a big deal in Scotland. In Texas, though, we can get dark whiskeys in 2 years.
Yeah, we can.
So up there in the colder climate, yeah, I mean, it's maybe cheating a little bit, but it's not going to change the taste. Is it? 150? E150?
Well, so here's the thing. It does taste on its own.
Oh.
It tastes slightly bitter and burnt, kind of acrid,
so,
right? But the theory is you're putting it in such small quantities that it's really hard to discern. Now, I have not A/B compared that, but I'm going to try it someday.
Get a bottle of E150.
Yeah, and that's the people who are against it. They argue it's disingenuous and that it affects the flavor.
Okay. While you look for that, another question for you. You know what? He chooses all the questions for him.
Yeah, I do.
You're horrible. Daniel, have you ever tried adding saline, which is salt water, to whiskey? Supposedly, people do that as a flavor enhancer, and it's currently popular with mixologists.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on using it for whiskey?
Okay, so the thing is, that's true in a cocktail. I don't know that it would enhance a straight spirit.
Sounds like time for an experiment.
Wait. Yeah, I need to get some saline. Hang on.
What is that, Deanston?
Yeah, I'm trying out a theory.
If you ruin yours, don't touch mine. While you try out that theory, if you go over to Reddit,
this is winning.
On the Scotch or Whiskey subreddit, you'll find a lot of hate projected towards the Dalmore series. Mother.
I know. There really is a lot of people who don't like it. And you know why? Read and you'll see how it's affected by our last comment.
The source of the hate is anything from E150 to chill filtering to non-cask strength availability, etc., etc. Do you find any merit in the hate, or do you believe it's just the momentary trend which will blow over? The people, here's the thing, you're going to have a more informed answer. My answer is the people that are frequenting subreddits are self-proclaimed connoisseurs, and in their mind they have to have really strong opinions, and they're kind of making a mountain out of a molehill.
I agree. Okay. My response to him on YouTube was, look, my understanding is that in every group there are ass, and Reddit seems to be disproportionate.
Can you pick the ass on this group?
Yeah. We both can. Okay, what do you think? Wait. What do you think?
I'm smelling this. I had to get no Tomatin in this anymore.
That's because it's a base now.
Right.
What are you getting?
It's smoke, man. It's peat.
But that's pretty, isn't it?
It's nice. Yeah. But
for a blend.
For a blend, again, I don't feel like I could, in a million years, ever pick out the Tomatin.
No. Me either.
How much did you put in?
I put in about 1 ounce of Tomatin. I put in about a half ounce of Deanston 12.
Yeah.
And then I put a tiny little dash of Caol Ila. I mean, literally let it dribble down the side.
No, I think Tomatin would have to be like 3/4 of all of it for you to
still pick it back up.
Yeah. Smoke just.
But this is tasty, isn't it?
No, it's nice. It's nice.
You know what I was thinking? I could put some Dalmore in it, and that might make it interesting.
Yeah, make the subreddit blow up. India, Raj Singh. India is a very hot climate, so drinking without ice here is unthinkable. So are there any scotch that are suitable for these kinds of climates, or is it the same like anywhere else? Bullet. No, he said scotch.
No, he's in scotch.
He said scotch.
Now, okay, so I would say is, look, I don't... The average temperature in Texas in the summer is 37, 38, 39, right? So we know from hot.
What, are you talking about Celsius?
Yeah, because he's in India, so he's going to know, right? So
Celsius.
We know from hot, right? And with a really high humidity. So believe me, there's no bad decision in drinking whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah.
And what I would say is what we've always said in these discussions: pick the whiskey knowing you're about to pour it on ice and you're going to bury the flavor and mellow it out with water. So pick a kind of a you whiskey.
Well, here's the thing. I would want to go towards, if I'm looking for something cool and refreshing, I want some sweetness. Maybe an Irish. An Irish that isn't...
But an Irish vanishes within 3 minutes of being poured on the rocks. You can't taste any whiskey anymore.
Really?
No, I've tried. It's really disappointing.
Yeah.
The only thing that stands up to ice are really smoky whiskeys and bourbons.
Well,
bourbons really stand up to ice.
Yeah, but in scotch, I don't know. We'll try it this summer.
Yeah, we will.
As an excuse to
no more comments,
drink
because we got
whiskey.
3 more videos to use those comments with.
Daniel.
Oh, you couldn't handle it.
Daniel, are you excited for the unveiling in the next episode?
Oh, tomorrow. I've heard a little birdie tell me.
You've said too much! You've said too much!
I've heard a little birdie tell me something special is going to happen.
Maybe. We'll see.
Now you're playing coy?
It wasn't...
You bring up the subject, and now you're playing coy?
It wasn't a birdie.
You can't do that.
Here's a little,
Such a tease.
A little foreshadowing. Wasn't a birdie. It was a majestic eagle.
On that note, till tomorrow, may your crazy stay this side of legal.
May you return to see some amazing red eagle feathers. Yes!
Cheers.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.